So I'm gonna share this like pretty horrifying reality that I've been in for a while, and I think this is a pretty common predicament, but it's like unique to me, and like it's very special. Like the way that I've done it is different than the way anybody else has done it, which is what makes the experience so common. Anybody who has it feels that way. And then the other weird thing is that they're not wrong. And so, like, you know, that experience is aligning yourself with truth, like theosis. You know what reality is. It's kind of related to waking up. It's like when your individual mind discovers or submits to the larger truth. Like, and this happens on an infinite number of frequencies. Perceptions, concepts, ideas, like all these different ways that you can either be in alignment with reality and what is or not. Basketball, hockey, dance, ballet. Right? Like if you're doing a performance of the Nutcracker, it's wild that different artists can, what do we go, that's good ballet. Their body was a reflection of the truth of the play. Right? Like if somebody writes a science article, their thoughts are a reflection of the truth. That's what makes it good. And so when you align with truth in that way, you're not just you are that truth, right? You grok it. When you discover truth, you become truth because you're moving just like it. There's a resonance. And so I, like many other people, have developed the ability to, like, at least very nearly only speak truth. Like nothing in my video is, everything I say is very truthful. Like it's so difficult for me to even speculate on things. Like I don't speculate. I don't have opinions. I don't talk outside the bounds of my direct knowing. My direct knowing is just so large that I can talk experientially about molecular biology or quantum physics or this other stuff. Like my direct knowing is so deep that I can talk about those things. I don't speculate about them. Right? And this is in a world of speculation. Like in science, they go, how are you going to figure this out? Nobody goes, well, why don't you develop yourself long enough to have just direct knowing of the phenomena? Like everyone's looking for the Higgs boson, and we go, let's build these giant machineries. Why not look directly at it, right? Direct apprehension, and then develop the theory about that. It's not even a technique. Even though it's the only technique, every single major science discovery was discovered that way. It was discovered via direct apprehension, and then you share that direct apprehension with other people with concepts. And so if people act like those concepts are true, they get all of the benefits of your direct apprehension. And so that's what we do. We trust each other and we go, what are you directly apprehending that I can't? And then if you trust that person, you act as if their concepts are true. And then even though you're in a world where you can't directly apprehend everything, you can have these large human groups there whose direct apprehension is in different spectrums. And then if everyone goes, I'm only going to talk about what I'm directly apprehending, then you can use the talking language network to actually at least make the world a little bit easier. Because you can get the same benefits as if your direct apprehension was like much deeper. That's language science, sort of, right? So I only say truthful things. I only talk about, I stay within my direct apprehension. I don't venture outside of it. And unfortunately, I am able to say things like, oh, like I'm the smartest person in the world, or I have discovered the most whatever thing. Right? And so anytime anybody has any sort of direct apprehension deepening or alignment with the truth, it seems special, right? That's this Messiah complex, that you have this thing, you have this way to get it so people can directly apprehend what you are. And for some reason, when people are in that mode, they there's something about Christ, there's something about like consciousness, there's something, and so people get these like messianic complexes where they go, what is a messianic complex? Well, is it just when you're like, oh, I have the secret to life, I have the secret to eternal life, I have the solution to save the world. That's what people believe, or that's what people perceive when, they're in that mode, or when they have that thing of like, I'm that. Very specific, very unique, but somehow can exist simultaneously. Like both Kanye West and myself can be alive at the same time. And the only way that I'm capable of saying I'm the smartest man alive or whatever is through the actions of consciousness at large, right? So most of the time when people get into these situations, this is why my situation and my enlightenment and my illumination is different and special, and it's because of the water. For whatever reason, the water chose me. I don't know. No, like nothing, no one else is even going in this direction at all. Nobody, it's like so obvious, nobody even talks about it, right? And this is the nature of everybody's illumination. But because mine is with and using water, the water lets you see things that are normally invisible. So it's my enlightenment. It chose me. It's at the center of everything. That's how it is for everyone. But with mine, I can directly reference it and say it's right there. It's in you and me. The way that I'm using water linguistically to express this. See, this isn't my truth. This happens all the time to everybody. It's from contact with it. But because if you use water, the whole thing is revealed. So you can see the way within which you can see that it's special in me is because of the water, and that is special in and of itself. But still completely universal and non-special. So there's a way to see in this video, I don't know if I could do it more consciously, but you can see that there's a fractaling going on. You can see that my words aren't exactly landing on anything. They're following a current. And so immersing yourself in this field, right? Like no matter who is bringing this energy forth, immersing yourself in that field, which they can bring towards you using tone, sound, water, touch, presence, submerging you in that field is curative of many, many things. And again, so that's all I'm saying is submerge yourself in consciousness, be focused, be there with the breath, which is what my hose stuff does. It forces that coherence, right? So there's this noticing, and so it's the best and the greatest thing. Like, and I'm the one that brought it in. It's already done. It already happened. I already did it. And there's like no avoiding it. And I did it before I did it. I was a swimmer like my whole life. I existed in it. I've woken up at 5 a.m. to get in the water for the majority of my adult life. My discipline in this regard is there's few people in history who have put as much attention into anything as I have put into water. I don't think anybody. Between how I was raised and how I lived and all that, and then I even spent a period of my life in the desert, as far away from water as I could get. My first sort of satori or awakening, I saw the spontaneous, right? My first spontaneous awakening that didn't have to do with any technique or drugs or anything else like that. I saw like the shimmering of like how like light, the pattern that light makes on the bottom of the ocean or on the bottom of the pool when it's shining down through relatively still water. It's just kind of waving. So there's that shimmery pattern that goes onto the bottom. I just saw that. That shimmery pattern is analogous to, is basically like thought, or that's like what you think of the world. That's that solidness to reality that you think you feel. That's the light passing through actual reality. Like the surface of water is reality, or is analogous to. And so as that light passes through it, there's a pattern that's projected onto the solid surface of the bottom, and that pattern like moves and dances back and forth. And while it's not the surface, it is directly correlated to the surface. You can basically navigate by it, even though reality is fundamentally different than that pattern. But when you participate in the pattern, you are the surface. There's no way to see the whole surface. You can't see the whole pattern. So when you look down, imagine being on the surface and looking down, you can see the light effect and the light shimmery from all the surface around you. If you detach or fall into being, you fall into the space between that projection on the bottom and reality itself. And so detached, and from that vantage point, you can navigate by looking directly at reality itself. The only way you can see the surface is to detach from it and fall into and identify with being. And then you have a vantage point that's some distance from the surface, just like your vantage point on the surface is some distance from the bottom. And that distance, or that separation from, is what gives you the wider field of vision. Unless you're distanced from something, you can't see it. You have to feel through it, right? And your feeling doesn't go to an object basically through other things. It goes out. Like you reach into and through. Whereas like with vision it's like you're not reaching into it, you're some distance away from it and pinging it. That's the only way these like pulled back fields of vision happen. And what we call higher life isn't really higher consciousness or higher intelligence. The intelligence is the same, which is like what Michael Levine or Levin is discovering. The intelligence at every system is roughly the same. It's just every type of organism and speciation and development of life is essentially just a pulling back. The vantage point is pulling back from the surface so that it can see itself, and it pulls back in different ways, and that's how you get a person or a bird. They've pulled back to see the surface in different ways. So the world is vibrations in the electromagnetic field. That's the definition of an electron. Or if you want to go down to a proton level, you go, oh, that's vibrations in a quark field thing, right? But a electron, which is like the closest comprehensible thing for most people, the thing that causes your hand not to, go through other object is that electromagnetic field. They're pushing off each other. Totally forgot what I was talking about. So that field is just but yeah, this happens to just about everybody. Did I go to the wrong lane?
What you got?
Just dresser.
Yeah, just reverse off the scale, take the farthest left lane.
Yeah, I went in the wrong lane, I guess. Yeah.
Just reverse off the scale.
Okay, reverse. Okay.
Yeah, and then take the left lane.
Okay. 4, right?
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. They're like, what the fuck is wrong with that guy? Two. Whoa, so I tried to buy this dresser last night and I broke it putting it into the truck because it was a piece of crap. You know, that like nearly cardboard crap furniture material, like all the IKEA stuff's made out of. So just total piece of crap. I gave the woman like 20 bucks because I didn't think it was that bad, but it was like, it like trashed itself on the way home. So I had to go to the dump and get rid of it. I've been wanting to make a solar dehydrator the last couple days, and I had thrown 2 of the drawers out, and I'm like, holy crap, this is just a, you know, just as a perfect frame for a solar dehydrator. I just need a little glass and some holes, like a mesh. Anyway, the box frame is perfect, right, of a drawer. And so it's funny, like I'm trying to manifest dehydrators, right? Do I go to Amazon? Do I buy something? And then I have this like screw up, and the screw up happens to me paying 20 bucks for some like frames that I needed to make or buy anyway, that only existed because of the mistake. I think that's almost entirely how things are drawn into existence, right? So oh, my first experience was that shimmering effect. And then later on, I got really into psychedelics to like induce that feeling of lucidity. I tried DMT like 2 or 3 times before it was popular. I had to make it myself. I made DMT. I did multiple 19 dried gram like mushroom trips, like full potency, you know, like 3 grams would make you trip hard. And I was trying to erase my ego. Something. I was at war with myself. You know how some people are like, oh, people are just into drugs for the escapism, or like they're just trying to like and this is where it's like not special. It's like, this is when you see people with any sort of addictions, their soul is at war with themselves in the exact same way that you see in a like a monk or a spiritual person. Like a drug addict on the street is the same as the highest monk or spiritual warrior. They are at war with themselves, right? So I was trying to annihilate myself, like intentionally, consciously. I think some people do drugs and it's like an unconscious thing of like, I'm gonna annihilate myself, right? Like a heroin addict or something, or a drug addict, or what, like anybody that's into, like, you go, oh, they're trying to annihilate themselves. Even people that are into like taboo violations, like if people that get into like hardcore fetishy kink stuff where you're just like doing something wrong, that's still this desire to self-annihilate. And that desire is ultimately driven by a love for God. In both of them. If somebody's either doing a practice of self-annihilation, or they're under the spell or the hypnosis of evil. Like all the people that fit into this world who are not actively engaging in a practice of self-annihilation. This is the correct type of marriage, the correct type of commitment. Like when you commit to something that you know you don't want to do, basically, that's this self-annihilation. People are, you know, we live in a world created by the devil, so the only good people are the ones that are doing the self-annihilation. The instant that you're comfortable, right? This is the unfortunate reality for spiritual teachers. The instant that you're comfortable, it's like a lot of people go, oh, self-annihilation, we all want this. The instant that you're comfortable and not self-annihilating for God aggressively, like the person on the street, you're not a good person. There's a war. There's a spiritual war going on. There's demons and demonic forces, and there's these horrible things that are like out eating children. Like everyone thinks we're in this thing, and there's a psychic warfare. I'm not the only one to say this. Everyone believes that what I'm saying is true. And the stakes are real, depending on like your bravery or your courage or your valor or your zeal is what depends on if your kids, if your friends' kids, if whoever gets their soul consumed by the bullshit of this world, the people that you love. If you don't act right, you will lose your parents, you'll lose your friends, you will lose everyone to the ravenous maw of social conformity and of this propagandic bullshit that everyone's in. And which is the state of the world always. It's just a delusion taking different shapes. It's a giant demon that splits into all these demons to make an ecology of being, an ecology of mind, just as we are God split into all these fragments of life, right? And you get heaven and earth. And the war is real. Like we depend on it, yeah, or maybe it's like the battle between light and dark and whatever is real, but so is the consumption of your loved ones and yourself. It is just as real as if a tiger ate your baby. You could go, oh, that's just Matrix or something like that. But if you lose your child to a disease, to a predator, to something, like, it's real and it hurts. And that war is going on all the time. If you lose your child to a sniper rifle, if you lose your child to a bomb, that is happening. Every single type of physical conflict and thing that you see happening everywhere is happening all the time on the spiritual plane. And unfortunately, we're like in 5th generational warfare. So demons used to act way more like tigers and stuff, right? Now the demons act like Orwellian propaganda, like mind control stuff, just tiny little frequencies that drive you crazy through the power of suggestion. So it's a fight, right? The only people that win the fights are the people that try as hard as, like, Conor McGregor, Kanye West, these big names. These people are trying to win the fight that they're in. The people that win the wars, the people that win the fights, if there's not a practice of self-annihilation going that hard, then you're not in the fight. You are the other team. That's the whole, you can't be lukewarm. The people that are lukewarm, zero interest. The saints and the heroin addicts are both going towards God. The people doing, like, demonic ritual sacrifice, and the Orthodox Christians doing communion and liturgy are both going to God. It's the lukewarm people are the ones, if you're going to make a division in any way whatsoever, like if you're going to make a division in the first place, like, what's worse, right? Like, if you only had two categories, the extremes, the people that are trying, the people that are there, the people that exist, are the ones that are going to God. The lukewarm, go with the flow, pleasure, comfort, whatever, don't exist. They are in hell. And so while it's radically better to be a saint than like a murderer or a drug addict, if you only had two categories, the lukewarm one would be its own category, and it would be the worst. So if you're lukewarm, people that are lukewarm will often try and judge, at least I'm not that bad. That's what the judgment thing is for. Like, if you're judging somebody, they're ahead of you. They love God more than you. They're doing more self-annihilation than you. So you're either judging other people or you're admiring people. Like, if you want to get to a level, if you want to get to a particular level, if you're trying to go towards God, if you're judging people, as you do that, you are going towards God in that negative way, in that dark way. But at least you're going towards God. Otherwise, you're admiring. All you're doing is admiring. Admiring saints, admiring good souls, admiring God, admiring. And in the instant there's any sort of judgment of like, oh, the world is whatever, blah, 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 blah. Or using the, I don't need to work any harder because I'm above all these people. I'm above all these people. I'm there. I'm arrived. I'm going to coast. Like, why would anybody go, oh, I can just coast now. It's fine. comes from judgment of people below you to make yourself feel comfortable. Oh yeah, so I was doing just tons of drugs. Not drugs, but like tons of mushrooms. I don't really like drugs. The couple times in my life that I've like sampled synthetic drugs, like LSD, MDMA, I guess that's it. Just oh no, just did not feel good. Didn't feel right. But everything that I've tried that's just like, oh, this was growing in the ground and I'm gonna eat it now, seemed okay. And so at some point I had a vision that I was it, that I was going to be the reality tunnel that tied everyone together and everything together. Like it was me, and it felt like I won a contest I didn't know the implications of entering. And it was something along the lines that like I was going to create or had the universal reality tunnel that could hold everyone together into one being, to let them be everything but unified. And yeah, I just thought it was delusional bullshit. It was one of those things where it was like, yeah, and then, but you know, it does happen to everybody. Like it happens to everybody. There's whole cultures and communities of people that are based off of them having this experience, right? Like Christianity is based off of people having an experience of Christ. And then they build structures, they build architecture, they build rituals, they build songs and dance, like communities express and make things that express their shared experience. Right? So when people have this shared experience, they express a particular type of culture. So when people experience Orthodox Christianity, they have an experience that is exactly like that church. The robes, the beauty, the ritual, the art, the tradition, the culture, the eternity, the unchangingness of it, and then when people have an empty experience of reality or whatever, then their culture and their architecture is that. Like people today have no experience of God, they have no experience of beauty, and so that's why you get this like blah shit that nobody cares about. Like that's why I had to throw out the furniture. It's crap. It's crap. Nobody has an inner experience of God, and so the things that people are drawn to make are empty, fake, vacuous. Like that's how you know that people that built the pyramids, like that physical expression was possible because of how tangible, physical, real their relationship with God, or at least the reality, spiritual realm was. They had a very deep, everlasting, eternal, like correct, accurate conception of the world. Our conception, our idea of the world, our beliefs, our science is everything is vacuously shallow. That's why everything we build last 100 years is not everlasting. It's just gee whiz wiped off the face of the earth, right? Like it's all about to go away. This is all about to fall. right? Everyone has the same experience all the time. It's like, whoa, I see God. Okay, prophetic impulse. Oh, we're about to all die, right? And they're not wrong, right? Like somebody has this experience of Christ consciousness. They go, I'm Christ. Everyone goes, oh, and it's like, no, that's the actual Orthodox Christian definition of anybody who's a Christian. That's what it means to be a Christian, is there is Christ. Right there. People don't take that seriously. Like, be very careful who calls themselves a Christian. Because what it means when you say that is, I am Christ. If you go back and you read all the writings and everything, everyone from the Orthodox Christians to the Gnostics say that the what is actually happening when you become baptized is that you enter into the single body of Christ. You become his body, you become his member. That's the base, like in Paul's letters. That's all he talks about. It's one body. What is the body? The body is Christ. To be a Christian is to be Christ. So people can see that, right? You can have a go, oh, I'm Christ consciousness, like, wah, and then you can follow, you can get pulled out of the body to where you're no longer Christ. You're but this thing to where people go, oh, I'm a Christian, and that means what? I believe that Christ died for my sins. Like, that has nothing to do with anything. Like, your beliefs have nothing to do with anything. And so again, you get to the situation where you have these people that are like believers, versus the people that are actively seeking to destroy that false and fake bullshit institution, right? All the militant atheists and the like communist or whatever, the people that are like actively subverting and sabotaging and trying to destroy the world through evil means, to destroy modern Christianity, or just to destroy Christianity, whatever, they don't see any difference, right? But to destroy it, those people are in an act of self-destruction that, again, places them above the retards in the middle, the lukewarm idiots in the middle. The people that are evil are just as good as the saints. With respect to the lukewarm people, right? I'm not trying to say that the evil people are not the lowest of the low, the scum of the earth, the people that's engaged in this totally unhealthy act of self-destruction. I'm not trying to justify or excuse that or say or encourage that for anybody. I'm just saying that in regards to the truth or to God or to serving goodness or to engaging in that spiritual war that helps humanity, that moves humanity forward, these evil people are ethically, morally, virtuously better than the comfort walking zombies. And that includes the people that you like, the successful spiritual teachers that made it and then become comfortable. So instantaneous, like, that's why it's like, don't judge, because the only reason you're judging is to make yourself comfortable. That's the only reason people are attracted to judgment, almost entirely. It's kind of like how most people don't eat because they're hungry. Like, you should be eating to maintain your fasting state. You should be eating just to maintain like the perfect amount of I'm on fire. But most people eat for comfort, right? So there's just the tiniest bit of discernment that you need of like this, not that. But most people use discernment for comfort, and that's called judgment. They want to judge themselves to become comfortable. I don't have to strive. I'm at least better than that. Instantaneously, the bottom. When you judge instantaneously the bottom, you're in a fight, you flinched, you got knocked the F out. Because the spiritual battle is that real. There's not, like, you can't do it half-assed the way that people do it. You're alert. You're alert because it could kill you. Until that state is found and maintained, alert could kill you. You're in the lukewarm middle ground, done, enslaved. In Egypt, just either a slave or an active participant on the other side. The saints are winning. The evil people are at very least fighting. The people who are comfortable have died. Where was I? Oh yeah, lots of psychedelics, and then I did this water thing at some point. I was like trying to practice my balance. I wasn't even necessarily doing a breath hold. I was like holding my breath for a long time so that I could let my air out and like crawl around on the bottom of the pool. Kind of some Wim Hof stuff. I'd do a breathe up so that I got like 2 or 3 minutes of like downtime. And I wasn't like trying to hold my breath. I was just like being like, oh man, I'm able to do a handstand down here. That's fun. Like I can study all these things that I'm too weak to study on land. Like basically I got into studying particular types of balance that I was too weak to explore on my own on land. And then my girlfriend was filming me. And I was just messing around. I was like doing a lizard crawl on the bottom of the pool, like a 25-yard pool. So I had all my air out and I was like lizard crawling. And I got to the other end and it was about 3 feet of water, and I had just held my breath too long and I like started having a seizure. And she pulled me out. And that was cool. You could feel it going into you, like it was pulling my blood taut. So there's like this cool thing about it. And then I went to Bardo. I went to this place that looked just like that Alex Gray painting called Bardo. And then I woke up. And then I'm like, oh, that sucks. So I got a hose. And again, this pattern that I'm doing is universal. Everyone does it. Everybody does it. Right? So I got a hose and I like put it next to the pool with a dive brick. And I was like, maybe I can go down to the bottom and have a hose and then I don't have to worry about dying. You know, just a couple feet down, just so I could like work on a planche or, you know. Basically, I wanted to use the water like a Pilates reformer machine. And instantaneously, the thing that was most interesting was the pressure on the lungs. Right, so when people get into spirituality, it's like you're always chasing a power and you're looking for a way to avoid death. So I wanted the power of balance. But the thing that ended up being the thing was what the the chase of power made me do, right? The chase of power, I wanted to chase balance. It makes me breathe deeper. And the breathing deeper is the thing that's actually cool. It's not the power. Breathing deeper and being submerged in consciousness, not what that lets you do. If you're submerged in consciousness in the right area at the right time, right, you're in it, and consciousness does crazy stuff. So if you get in the right area at the right time and you're centered, you'll be able to do all the crazy gymnastics and like all the crazy art stuff and all the crazy everything. But you just have to be in the right place at the right time. Because that's what you are. You have to be there, and you have to be it. Right? Like if you show up at a movie audition, you have to be there and you have to be it. Otherwise, you don't get the part. So I start breathing through this tube, and I was like, oh, I want to be able to move around more. So I tied it to a little floaty, a little ring floaty. It was like a stingray. And I named it Tony, which was short for tonal, which was like, it was holding my breath and it was holding my body in my tonal, which is a Carlos Castaneda term. And then I was going down into the Nahua. I don't even know how to say it. Right? You have the surface of reality, then you have the depth of reality that's invisible. And so this really invisible spiritual realm, you can use water, you can use this situation, you can use this arraignment to make it all visible. So it's like a corrective lens, the water. It is the lens. And so breathing in it through a snorkel allows the water pressure to, fall in on your breath. And your breath is your metabolism. Like your breath is the oxygen going through your body, but your breath is also the activity of the muscles and the will and the nervous system just pulling the air in and out. So when you add the water weight, your breath becomes very, very palpable. It's very heavy. Like there's almost no weight. Breathing air, not really, but with a little bit of water pressure on the lungs, it's, you're crushed like a tin can 3 feet down. So it's just like being able to add weight to your breath. And what's adding weight? The whole body of water. So it causes this weight, but it also attaches the very core of your metabolism to this field. You become one very quickly with this field around you, and that causes your proprioception, your consciousness, your awareness to whatever to just go through the roof. And the same thing is what happens when people get these, like, oh, they might be on the cushion or spontaneous or whatever. When somebody wakes up, when somebody comes to light, like, when they find the truth, they align with and resonate with the field that's around them, the world that's around them. The water does this kind of automatically for you. So like it's nothing new, but it's very specific, it's very unique, it's very so I found that, right? So I have these, like, I've had these messianic visions, I've seen there's like this thread that's going through it, and for 10 years now, I think I've been trying to get people to see this, to utilize it, to capitalize on it, to form some sort of culture around it. The same way that we've formed culture around automobiles. Like, I'm not saying that this is God. I don't want to be worshipped. I don't want to deny Christ. I don't want to deny the church. I'm not saying to worship or to replace God with this thing or this thing I've noticed. But we form culture around much less than this. Like, there's culture around cars, we have these cultures around electricity, there's cultures around the internet. And so a water culture, a culture around water, is way, that culture would be beyond like, look at how healthy surfing culture is. Those people are amazing. Everybody that's into water sports and stuff like that is just a good, solid person because they're in a water culture. So I'm just saying, like, intentional water culture. And there's a lot of different things you can do with water. You can surf it. You can float, like, you can be in it. The hosing thing, the snorkeling thing. There's different types of technology that develop out of water culture, just like there's all these technologies like surf culture. Look how crazy surfboards have gotten. Look how crazy wind sails, kiteboards, all that. Look at this innovation around water culture. It's just this one idea, surfing, sailing, and look, there's a cacophony of innovation, of simple machines that help surfing and sailing. It's gotten way, way, way better. And people are doing things that, wouldn't have been possible even 100 years ago. Like kiteboarding. And anyway, yeah, nobody's listening to me. I can't get anybody to help me. I'll meet and become friends with like millionaires, and they don't. I can't get them. I can't get anybody to help. I don't understand what they want. I don't know how to prove to anybody any more than what I've done. Like, I have working prototypes, I have everything. I don't know how to prove this anymore to anybody. It's just nobody will try it. Like, I'm pulling up to my friend's house right now. He's got infinite money. I don't want to just like directly I've never really directly asked people for anything. I don't even know how to. I definitely make it known that I'd like them to check it out, that I'd like them to try it, that I think it's really awesome. Here's what it is. And just, it's like, hey bud, whatever, sure. And then even if like, just even anyone, I'm not even talking like just like people with money. That's one thing, right? You're asking the world for power, but I don't ask anything of anybody. I just try it, have an interest in it. I'll show you what's going on. Nobody cares, and I can't get anybody who has a practice or a discipline to even try it. Like an athlete, somebody who's doing it the way that I did it when I was younger. I'll try and get on podcasts. I talk to people. Like, I went to a Vervaeke conference, and like in my little small group and whatever, everyone's like, wow, this stuff's crazy. I was telling them about like the heart. How, like, I wasn't talking about this at all. I meet Vervaeke and I'm like, hey, I have this thing. It's like this. Nobody cares. Written messages, and right now it's all a joke. I'm so resentful. Everything's a joke. I act like a complete asshole on purpose, just to hide it, because it's like what I'm saying is so true. I like saying it in these outlandish ways and being this outlandish person, because then it makes those people hate the truth. Like, I'm that bitter and that resentful towards people. Like, that I've adopted this Joker personality that I try and trigger all the sensibilities as much as possible while saying things that are true. And like, the resentment or the abuse that I'm trying to do to people is so that they deny truth. If you present the truth in an unpleasant form, you can get people to deny truth. And it's like an act of like violence. And that's just driven by like the resentment of being completely ignored. But like knowing what it is. And again, this happens to everybody. Like this happens to absolutely everybody. It's the same. Charles Manson, Castaneda, Osho, Eckhart Tolle. People can get up and be like, oh, I'm nobody. But it's like, if you're giving people the answers to life, you've taken the hot seat. You're the Messiah. Because the only way anybody has any insight is that they've become the truth. Like, you are the answer. Listen to me, everybody. I'm the answer. That's what an expert is. An expert is just like an atheist, an atheist with a messiah complex. It's not even a big deal. People shouldn't say it's like a bad thing. Anyway, hour. Wow.